All right, let's jump right in. Today, we are talking about the single most valuable thing in the entire universe. And no, it's not gold, it's not oil, it's not crypto, it's time. It's the currency you spend every single second. And how you invest it, well, that determines the quality of your entire life. So let's figure out how to spend it wisely. Think about it like this. Every single morning, a bank account is opened in your name. And into that account is deposited this exact number you see on the screen, 86,400. That's how many seconds you get. And here's the thing, everyone gets the same amount, no exceptions. But, and this is the crazy part, here's the catch. It's a total use it or lose it deal. The moment the clock strikes midnight, poof, whatever you haven't used from that day is just gone, wiped clean. You can't save it up, you can't roll it over for a rainy day. Every single day, the account starts back at zero. And this is what makes time the ultimate equalizer, isn't it? I mean, the wealthiest person on this planet cannot buy one extra second. They can't just order up a 25th hour. And the poorest person on Earth gets the exact same 24 hours. In this one very specific way, we are all perfectly, totally equal. So, if we all have the exact same amount of this precious currency, why do so many of us feel like we're constantly running out? Why do we feel so time poor? Well, that brings us to what I call the priority lie, the biggest myth we tell ourselves day in and day out. There it is. You've said it, I've said it, we all say it. Oh, I'd love to, but I just don't have time. I don't have time to hit the gym. I don't have time to call my mom. We use this phrase like a get-out-of-jail-free card, right? But what are we really saying when we say those words? Okay, let's try a little thought experiment. The next time you catch yourself saying, I don't have time, I want you to try replacing that phrase with, it's not a priority. So, I don't have time to exercise suddenly becomes, my health is not a priority. Ouch. Yeah, that one kind of stings, doesn't it? But it's powerful because it forces us to face the truth about the choices we're making. So here's the bottom line. Your actions will always reveal your true values. You can forget what you say your priorities are for just a second. If you really want to know what you worship, what you truly care about, just look at two things: where your time is going on your calendar and where your money is going on your bank statement. The evidence doesn't lie.
Okay, so that was the tough love part. We've identified the problem. So how do we fix it? How do we actually start spending our 86,400 seconds on the things that really matter? Well, let's look at a brilliant framework for building a much more fulfilling day.
I want you to imagine your day is like an empty glass jar. The big rocks, those are your non-negotiables, your health, your family, your spiritual practice. Then you've got the pebbles, your other important stuff, like your job or your hobbies. And then there's the sand. That's all the little stuff, scrolling social media, mindlessly watching TV, getting into gossip. Now here's the key. If you fill the jar with sand first, there's no way the big rocks will ever fit. But if you put your big rocks in first, everything else, the pebbles, the sand, it all just naturally fits in around the important stuff.
And this brings up a really tough question, one you have to be super honest with yourself about. Before you can start putting those big rocks in first, you have to figure out how much sand is already filling up your jar. You kind of have to do a little time audit. And when you do that audit, you might be shocked. For most of us, the biggest leak is buzzing right there in our pocket. I mean, check this out. The average person spends 3 to 4 hours a day on their phone. Do you realize that adds up to 2 entire months out of every single year? That's like taking a 2-month vacation just to stare at a screen. And that's not even counting all the other time sinks.
You see, this leads to a huge realization. The solution is not about magically finding a 25th hour in the day. It's not about needing more time. It's about finding the holes in your bucket and plugging them. It's about reclaiming the time you already have from the things that just don't serve your bigger purpose.
All right, so let's zoom out. Let's go from these daily tactics to a lifelong philosophy. It's time to stop letting your day just happen to you. It's time to start designing it with intention, just like an architect would design a blueprint for a beautiful building.
And a really powerful tool for this is something called a sadhana, which is basically a daily spiritual routine. Now, we often think that discipline and routine are these boring, restrictive things. But here's a little secret. Real discipline creates freedom. By winning that first hour of the day, maybe with prayer or meditation, before the world has a chance to hack your brain, you build a fortress for your mind that protects you for the next 23 hours.
A huge part of building that fortress is learning to guard the gates. And this quote is so important. We all want to be nice, right? We want to be helpful, so we say yes to almost everything. But you have to remember, Every single time you say yes to some minor request, you are automatically saying no to something major, like your health, your family, or your own peace of mind. Learning to say no gracefully, that's a high-level spiritual practice.
You know, this whole respect for time, it extends to other people too. In a lot of cultures, it's almost a joke to be late. But when we make someone wait for us, what we're really saying without words is, my time is more valuable than your time. A truly spiritual person respects the gift of time, both their own and others. You gotta live by this motto: if you are early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. It completely reframes punctuality not as a source of stress, but as a deep act of respect. And now for the ultimate focusing tool. Now, this isn't meant to be dark or morbid, okay? It's meant to give you instant, radical clarity. Just for a second, imagine you found out you had a deadline, a final one, 6 months left. What would you stop doing today? All the petty arguments, the wasted hours, the mindless scrolling. It would all just vanish, wouldn't it? So let's bring all this home. The call to action is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly profound. Stop waking up and just reacting to a flood of emails and notifications. Stop letting the world and other people's agendas build your day for you. It's time to be proactive. It's time to grab the blueprint and build your day. Because ultimately, this is what it's all about. You've been given this gift of 86,400 seconds today. You have all the raw materials, and you have the free will to choose what to do with them. You are the architect of your life. So the only question left is, what kind of life are you going to build?